Alliance for Reform, please.
Good morning, my fellow Singaporeans, residents of Potong Pasir, SMC. I am honored today to be the candidate for the People's Alliance for Reform for Potong Pasir. This election, keep your focus on four things: cost of living, public housing, which is becoming more and more costly, your job insecurity, and the fact that we have so many foreigners invading our land. Keep your focus on that and take back what belongs to you. 波东巴士居民，你们好，我是林挺，我是人民联盟的秘书长。我很荣幸今天能作为我党的候选人。我希望我们共同创造历史。5月3号，我们创造历史，把波东巴士拿回。谢谢你们。I want to address you on only 4 issues. Number 1, the cost of living. Number 2, the increasingly unaffordable public housing. Number 3, your job insecurity. And number 4, this invasion by foreign migrants and foreign workers into our country. And you know, the PAP likes to tell you another story. And you know, all those lapdogs of the PAP, they like to spew this story which is total rubbish. They like to say we are an immigrant society. Alright? And you can't complain because your parents were immigrants as well. And you know the example they always cite? They always cite America. You know, my friends, America today is 250 years old since its independence. In 250 years, even though America has continuously taken in immigrants, do you know what is the immigrant population of America? It is no more than 8.5%. You compare that to the immigrant population of Singapore, which today is nearing half the population. Nearing half. Not that we are negative towards foreigners, but when you have the almost 50% of the population being foreigners, do you think that that is right in such a short space of time? Is it not safer for you to vote for the opposition who can speak up for you and fight unjust PAP policies? Thank you very much.
George W. Bush said when the Iraq War happened, you are either with us or you are against us. So that is the great dilemma, if you want to use that word. To our walkabout this morning at Big Hill Market. I know it's Good Friday, it's a public holiday, and you know, I appreciate the dedication and the hard work all of you are putting in. I have called all of you to this occasion because where we are standing now in Big Hill Market is actually the confluence of 2 GRCs. On this side is Tanjong Pagar GRC. If you cross the road behind you, you are in Jalan Besar GRC. And the People's Alliance for Reform will be contesting in these 2 GRCs. As you know, in 2020, People's Voice, a component party of PAR, contested in Jalan Besar. Tanjong Pagar has been very familiar with People's Voice since 2018 when it was formed, and we did a lot of work there. But in 2020, pursuant to a personal request from Yong Ban Wai, who is now the Secretary General of the PSP, I agreed to allow the PSP to contest Tanjong Pagar. But since 2020, we have gone back to Tanjong Pagar and continued our work. So it is 7 years of non-stop work in these two constituencies. Now, I want to inform the public and I want to inform Singaporeans today that after very careful consideration by the Central Executive Committee of PAR, we have decided to field a total slate of 14 candidates, 1/4, for the general election. So on nomination day on the 23rd of April, you will see 14 PAR candidates go to 3 separate nomination centers, and these are the constituencies we will be contesting. And may I add at the outset, this is a decision we will not go back on. First of all, Potong Pasir SMC. Number 2, Mountbatten SMC. Number 3, Queenstown SMC. Number 4, Yio Chu Kang SMC. Number 5, Radin Mas SMC. Number 6, Jalan Besar GRC. Number 7, Tanjong Pagar GRC. A total of 14 candidates. After careful deliberation and also taking into account the interests of the other parties and their movements, we have decided that we will not contest Marymount SMC, we will not contest Teluk Bahru SMC, and we will not contest Jalan Kayu SMC. Now, today I want to introduce to you 2 of the 14 candidates that PAR will be fielding. So far, I think you already know 4 of the candidates. Myself, of course, I will be contesting. Michael Fang in Yio Chu Kang, I think has been featured. And last week as well, Hamim, who is the Secretary General of the Democratic Progressive Party, and S.K. Chu were introduced. Today, I would like to introduce Vic here. Vic has been, let me put it this way, a veteran campaigner. She first ran for elections in 2011 as part of the Reform Party slate. She was only 29 then, one of the youngest candidates. Vic is a early childhood educator. She is also currently doing a master's in inclusive and special education with an Australian university. She lived in Jalan Besar GRC in Whampoa for 13 years and only moved away 2 years ago. And her first job as an early childhood educator was also in Jalan Besar GRC. So she knows this area fantastically well. I wish she had been part of the Jalan Besar team together with me in 2020. Unfortunately, Jalan Besar is only a 4-member team. So we were unable to accommodate her. But we have not finalized the lineup for Jalan Besar or Tanjong Pagar. Don't get me mistaken. But I do hope that she will have the chance to come back to Jalan Besar and campaign, because it is an area she knows very, very well. The next candidate I would like to introduce is Mahmud Basha, who is an oil and gas businessman. He is a specialist in the oil and gas industry. Mahmud has been a stalwart of the Reform Party for many, many years. He will be, and this I am prepared to announce to them and to the review. he will be past candidate for Queenstown SMC. So I hope you will have the chance to ask them some questions later. But I think this is an appropriate place for me to end my statement and to take questions. I had a quick glance. Let me say this. I don't want to be rude, but the PAP seems to have gone barking mad over the Trump tariffs. Their whole campaign appears to be centered on the Trump tariffs, when that is not really the concerns of Singaporeans. Alright? The concerns of Singaporeans are what Carr has been hammering away for years now, and what People's Voice has been hammering away for years. It is the cost of living. It is the unaffordability of public housing. It is job insecurity among so many Singaporeans. And it is the absolute disgust of Singaporeans at the massive influx of foreigners. Don't get us wrong, we have nothing against foreigners, but it is wrong when a country allows foreigners to come in and to virtually invade us. And the PAP can tell us all sorts of stories, how foreigners create jobs. Alright? Where is the evidence? On the other hand, we are seeing real evidence on the ground of Singaporeans losing jobs to foreigners every day, of fresh graduates unable to get jobs. Alright? And I say this with specific sarcasm against Tan See Leng. We are the only country in the world where for the last 3 years, from 2022 to 2024, 91.3% of jobs growth has gone to foreigners. And I have asked him several times, should we rename the Ministry of Manpower as the Ministry of Foreign Manpower? Because that appears to be his job, creating jobs for foreigners. So, my friends, we are not going to be distracted by what the PAP is doing. And I will also direct you to an article by the South China Morning Post yesterday, which shows that Singaporeans are not concerned about the Trump tariffs. Alright? If you have any grain of common sense, you will know that actually the Trump tariffs at the end of the day could be a silver lining in the clouds for Singapore. 10%. You know, other countries were slapped with much higher tariffs. And as I have made clear in several of my Facebook posts, what will happen is that businessmen from other countries slapped with much higher tariffs will seek to relocate to Singapore to enjoy the low tariffs enjoyed by us. My fellow Singaporeans, be very clear. The Trump tariffs are specifically directed to one country. They are directed to China, where America is in a great contestation, militarily and economically. And I also want to say this. I think the whole aim of the Trump tariffs is to eventually force countries to take sides. Whether you are on the American side or whether you are on the Chinese side. President Trump is not going to allow countries to sit on the fence. And it reminds me of what George W. Bush said when the Iraq War happened. You are either with us or you are against us. So that is the great dilemma, if you want to use that word, that Singapore will face in the coming years. Because I think for the past decades, Singapore has straddled the middle. All right, we have been friendly to America. We have given them our naval base for their Pacific Fleet, and yet we have extensive business relations with China. I think that is going to change. But you know something? That is all the more reason why, at this critical time, it is important for Singaporeans to build in as many opposition as possible. Because we have an incapable and incompetent foreign minister in Lim Tean. I have never minced my words about him. Ever since he derided the role of Singapore in the Kim Jong-un and Trump summit, when he said we were there to serve tea and coffee and biscuits. Alright? You will never get a foreign minister making such statements. It lowers the prestige of your country. Yeah? And over the years, he has shown a lack of judgment. The latest of which was him liking Calvin Chain's post. Alright? Now he retracts. He says, I didn't like it. And he said he claims to have filed a report with NECA. It has been weeks now. Where is the finding of NECA? Why won't he disclose it? So Vivian is an incompetent foreign minister. I tremble when I think that this is the PAP team that is going to navigate the torrid waters of international relations in the coming years. I am not leaving my job, alright? My father was a diplomat in Moscow in the early 70s. I lived in Moscow when I was a young boy. I lived in Moscow at the height of the Cold War. And even though I was young, I invite the conversations of my parents. And I think I have an even better understanding of international relations than Vivian Balakrishnan. And I want to be in Parliament. I want my other colleagues in Parliament to challenge him, to challenge the PAP narrative. Because in the coming years, I think that is the great dilemma Singapore is going to face. We will be releasing the party manifesto before nomination day. We are, yesterday I think the PAP and WP have released, so we are not far behind. And before nomination day, Singaporeans will know what we stand for. We do not play. We are not going to be overly extensive. I see that the WP had 125 policy suggestions. Was it the PSB at 60? I'm telling you, my friends, PAR is going to concentrate on 5 things. PAR is going to concentrate on cost of living. We are going to concentrate on affordability of public housing. We are going to concentrate on job insecurity. We are going to concentrate on taking back our Singapore identity and nation, which has been destroyed and torn to shreds by the massive influx of foreigners. And lastly, we want some desperately needed institutional reforms, which we will be putting in our manifesto. So, it is not going to be long. I promise you, you are not going to have to trawl through many pages. I think 15 pages at the max. But we want Singaporeans to focus on what are the important issues in this election. We do not want, and I say this again, I tell Singaporeans to focus, because what the PAP is trying to do to you is to distract you. And be very clear, the PAP has no solution to cost of living. The PAP has no solution to the unaffordability of public housing. You know, it was only 2 years ago, I believe, 2+ years ago, when HDB first crossed the 1 million mark. Today, we are fast approaching 2 million. And my fellow Singaporeans, I ask, do you think your children in the coming years and decades can afford that type of public housing? I have gone around so many young families in Potong Pasir, in Bidadari and Malta, and that is one of their main concerns. They will live. You know, Bidadari is not a cheap area, all right? You have very young families there. The parents may live in relatively expensive HDB apartments, but they know it, and they tell us, because every resale apartment in Bidadari is now going for over $1 million, and they worry how are their children in the coming years going to cope. And as I say, finally, we are going to touch on this much needed issue of migration and immigration, which I see no other opposition have really dared to voice out. You know why? Because the PAP are always quick to tar those who criticize the policies as racist, as xenophobic, or as nativist. But my Singaporeans, it is not xenophobic, it is not racist, it is not nativist when you stand up for your country, when you are patriotic, and when you want good paying jobs and priority for jobs for your own citizens. I say that. The PAP can label me a racist anytime. Alright? Anytime. I will stand up for that Singapore.
How will not compare to Jalan Kayu, Gunung Baru, or consideration to other parties and other constituencies? What about Potong Pasir?
Potong Pasir is one SNC we will 100% contest. Alright? You are not going to see us back away. And I will tell you the simple reason. For the last 5 years, Potong Pasir has been one of our top targets. And we have spent so much time in Potong Pasir. Together with, I will say, Jalan Besar, Marymount, Potong Pasir are the 3 areas where we have spent the most time. And we will not back down. And I think we are being very fair. If you look at the places where we are going to contest, these are places where we have actually done a lot of work, or where from past campaigns, we know the ground very well. For example, Yio Chu Kang. Yio Chu Kang was carved out of Ang Mo Kio, GRC. That was for many years a place where the Reform Party contested. Alright? And if you go down to Queenstown, Queenstown is part of Tanjong Pagar. It sits right in the middle of it, alright? And you go to Radin Mas, which is another area where Reform Party has contested for at least the last 2 elections. So these are grounds well known to us. We are not trying to break into new grounds. We are not trying to break into new grounds at the last minute. I think that is wrong. Because if a party has been doing good work in that area for many, many years, and another party has not, I think it is only fair that the other party leave it, and let what the first party has done enjoy campaigning for the support of the country. We will, Trevina, I thank you for that question. Last week, I made a very important announcement talking about one of the major proposals PAR will push if we are elected to Parliament. And that is, we want free education, free healthcare, free school meals for every child in Singapore. And when I say free education, it is not just primary or secondary. I am talking all the way up to university. Alright? All the way up to university. And for too many years, Singaporeans have been brainwashed by the PAP narrative that, oh, you are raiding the regions. You are fiscally irresponsible. No, my friends, the money is there, staring at us before our eyes. We will show in our manifesto how we will finance free education for every Singaporean child, all the way up to university. We will give that child free health. And that morphs into our greater policy of giving every Singaporean free healthcare. Universal free healthcare, which is the hallmark of a civilized society. Right? I hope that answers your question. We have carried out a variety of activities. People's Voice, when we started in 2000, we had a very well-received trade proposal. We gave up that, and that was our signature. That has now become a distribution of rights for many of these elderly citizens. And I will say this, the elderly citizens are the worst part in this cost of living crisis. I have come across so many of them who have now been reduced, taking just 2 meals or even 1 meal, because they simply cannot afford the cost of living. And I think it is a crying shame when a supposed first world country cannot even feed its population properly, and yet is thinking of spending crazy money like what, 300 over million for the Founders Memorial. Alright? You go into some of our MRT stations, they are tremendous. But yet, during the daytime, there are very few people in those MRT stations. You go especially on the Thompson East, the Thompson line, right? So many of the MRT stations are empty, virtually empty. You know? That is the other criticism and the other big issue we want to champion in Parliament in election. We want to cut down wasteful spending. We are going to be great advocates for the abolishment of the mayor's role. There is simply no good conscience in a small country like Singapore, where you already have 97 MPs, alright, and you have so many ministries and so many civil servants, to have 5 mayors, each earning $660,000 a year, on top of their parliamentary allowance of $192,500 a year. What are they doing? Especially in these difficult times, every Singaporean has the right to ask each mayor, what enables you to earn such a humongous salary? What is so difficult about your job that you are earning more than the US president? Alright? And this dovetails into our greater policy also of this. We have become deranged with our politics. Over the years, because of the astronomical salaries we pay our politicians, they no longer live the life of freedom. Right? They have lost touch with the ground. And when you lose touch with the ground, that is when you impose policies like hiking GST 2% when inflation is already running high. GST, my friends, is going to be one of our main concentrations in this election, because the whole of Singapore hates the GST. Lawrence Wong cannot run away from the GST. But you know something? In this election, he wants to bring in more MPs who were instrumental in the implementation of the GST. He wants his ex-budget director, Mr. Sean Low, who is a PAP candidate in Jalan Besar GRC, to be an MP. And this person was the chief executioner of Lawrence Wong's financial policies, including the GST. So I asked every Jalan Besarian, ask him, ask him, how has GST helped me? What solutions now have you brought to lower the cost of living? He gave a Straits Times interview the other day saying that one of his sons asked him what he was going to do about cost of living issues as a politician. Every Jalan Besar voter should ask him this question. Mr. Low, how are you going to lower my cost of living? Ask him that question. And in fact, this is a question which every Singapore voter should ask every PAP candidate, especially the newbies. When elected into parliament, are they all going to champion the GST like what the ex-Potong Pasir MP Sito Lim did? I call him the champion, the GST champion, all right? You can go back to the video clips of him having a go at Pritam and James Lim in Parliament when that issue was discussed. All right, I will ask every Singaporean again. This is the most important question this election. How are you going to lower my cost of living?